You are not behind. You are under audited. And there is a difference because when you say you are behind, you immediately go into shame. You start beating yourself up. You start saying, I should be further. I should have done more. I should have done this, that, and the third. I should have launched that thing. I should have lost the weight. I should have saved the money. I should have cleaned the house. I should have started the business. I should have finished the project. And yeah, you should have, but you didn't, right? But what if the issue is not that you are behind? What if the issue is that you have not inspected the evidence? What if you are not lacking time? And I use that loosely because for some and in certain areas, that may very well be the case. But what if you are lacking an audit? Happy July, you all. It is July 1st, 2026. Today, July 1st, 2026. We are 6 months into the year. I need y'all to understand this. And it seems like we say this every year that the years are getting quicker and quicker and quicker, but we're 6 months into 2026. 6 months. That is not a small thing. The first 6 months have already testified. Your calendar testified, your bank account testified, your house testified. Your content testified. Your habits have testified. Your phone usage, your emotions, your private life, your discipline all have testified. And some of us are still arguing with the evidence. Some of us are still saying, I do not know what happened. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You may not have written it down, but your life has been keeping records. And I do a lot of videos on data centers. And one of the things I call data centers these digital archivists. And one thing I'm proving to people is that you have corporations that are willing to store, harbor, steal, keep, monetize, and own your own receipts, your own life, everything that pertains to you. They will go out and spend billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to protect what you failed to do. So again, you may not have written it down, but your life has been keeping records. Okay. You may not have opened the report, but the report exists. You may not have reconciled the account, but the account has activity. You may not have done the review, but the evidence is still sitting there. And that is why I am calling this the 2026 audit. Because this is not a cute mid-year reset. This is not a soft little check-in. This is not one of those write down 3 goals and light a candle moments. No, this is an audit. This is where we inspect what the first 6 months produce. This is where we stop lying to ourselves about what is working and what is leaking. This is where we stop calling chaos creativity. This is where we stop calling procrastination preparation. That one I loathe with a passion. This is where we stop calling fear discernment. And this is where we stop calling disobedience waiting. This is where we stop saying, I just need more time. Y'all, listen, you're going to have to give an account for the time that you're wasted. And I'm going to tell you right now, in this era of busyness, I can prove to you most time is wasted time. Most time is futile, not fruitful, but futile. You understand me? When what we really need is more order, because time is not the problem if you keep leaking the time you already have. Money is not the problem if you keep bleeding the money you already receive. Business is not the problem if you keep refusing to make the offer clear. Health is not the problem if you keep ignoring what the body has been trying to tell you since January. Your home is not the problem if you keep refusing to steward what is already in your hands. So no, I am not here to tell you that you are behind. I'm not here to coddle you on that. I don't need to preach to you on that. I don't need to teach to you on that. But I can give you some solutions. Behind makes you feel like the year's already over. It's not. And let me tell you something. And if you notice, we're calling this the 2026 audit. But one of the things that I've been doing this year, and I started last year, is teaching my people how to quantum leap. And everything I've been doing, a lot of things have had a quantum theme. The first class that I taught of 2026 was literally on your ability to quantum leap and how this was the year of quantum computing, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And if you understand and get a revelation on your ability to quantum leap, you will be able to operate in a realm that far exceeds anything you've ever operated in before. Now, that's for my believers, and I truly believe this. But let me also let you know something. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and it's going to take some work. It's going to take a massive amount of work. And let me tell y'all something else. And I'm gonna later on this week, I'm doing, maybe tomorrow, I'm doing a video on. I was talking about it in Bank Yourself last night. And I said, listen, y'all, because so many people squandered their time, whatever, and hear me out. And I want you to write this down, and you may not like it. Everyone else is lying to you. I'm telling you that now, it's a lie. In most retrospects, it's a lie. Even for the people who have the ability to excel fast, doesn't mean that it's not going to require a lot of work. For the past, I would say from 2015, maybe 2017. Okay, I'll put a little more on it, to about 2025. You could almost do anything easily. Whether you wanted to build an audience, whether you wanted to build a business, whether you wanted to build content, whether you wanted to build a house, whether you wanted to build in certain retrospects, when I say it was there was such a what's the word? There was such a unique ability to, like, it was a life cheat code. But here's the problem when things get real easy, y'all. When things get real easy, a lot of time we become lazier. And I seen this. I seen this. And people should have been taking the advantage of learning certain things and doing certain things, and they didn't do it. So whatever you try to do for the next, all of a sudden my smoke alarm is going off. That never happens. But whatever it is that you try to do, and hear me out. And as someone that's in tech, I'm telling you now, as though everything is simplistic, I'm telling you now, things to operate is going to be, and I think I'm being nice with this number, it's going to be 10 times harder. And I know that because of the legislative bills that are being rolled out. Okay. And so you're gonna want to at least know how to quantum leap in certain aspects of life. And here's the thing, to be able to quantum leap in an analog frame. And some of y'all will probably capture that. Y'all know I do a lot with analog. As techie as I am, I do a lot in tech. I am massively in the analog space. Okay. So let's continue. Behind can make you feel panic. It can make you compare. Behind makes you scroll and look at everybody else's fruit while you ignore your own field. And I always tell you, stop playing building in other people's yard, and stop building your own playground, or playing in your own playground. I am here to tell you that you are under audited. And that is actually good news, because if you are under audited, that means there is still evidence to inspect. That means there are still leaks you can locate. That means there are still patterns you can interrupt. That means there are still systems you can build. That means there are decisions you can make. That means the second half of 2026 does not have to be a repeat of the first half. Now, some of y'all probably have really, really great first halves. If you did, I think you can quantum that. I think you can double that. For those of y'all who haven't, and listen, I know people, I know people say, oh, I'm just waiting for this. And I'm just going to listen. Y'all got to hang that up. That whole I'm gonna, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that's not going to fly. You got to be quick off the line now, because the level of competition and desperation within the market, be it if you're going for a job, be it if you're going for opportunity, be it if you're going to build a micro business, build all those different things. Okay. All those things. Oh my goodness, Brandon, I just seen what you wrote. You said data centers equal Clive Davis. Oh my goodness. I got to put that on screen. I just seen that. Right? Worse than a 360 deal, huh? They're gonna own and let me some of y'all may not understand how poetic what he just said. We all know Clive Davis just died. However, his wickedness lives on. And if we know most of everything from Whitney Houston to Aretha Franklin to Michael Jackson, so many people, right? I think maybe even Jodeci, Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever. So many people have been under his tutelage. And this guy is massively known for what? Not producing the music, because I think he was over Arista Records. No. For owning the intellectual property. Let me tell y'all something. I taught classes for the past 3 years. I've been teaching classes on IPs. And I've been putting my people on, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you can go on what is it? us.gov. What is it? TP. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on, y'all. I know it by heart, and then I'm having a brain fog. IPTOS. What is it? Where you can for patents. Government. Hold on. Patent. That's right. USPTO. I don't know why I was having a brain fog on that. I was having a brain fog on it, but USPTO.gov. And I've always I've used that sometime with my people. We file trademarks. You can file these things yourself: trademarks, patents, copyrights. And if y'all hear I do not want to sound like the typical or proverbial person with the fire alarm going off in my office, which never happens, but that it literally just started doing it. So if you hear that, I give my sincere apologies, and I can assure you it's going to be changed. When we get off, it started when I got on here, so I'm sorry if you hear the beep. What they call it, they call the fire alarm the black people. What is it? Black people night song or bird song or something like that. Dog whistle. I don't know, but I've been trying to tell my people for the longest time, and for years, when I've helped people build hundreds, if not thousands, of businesses, right? And one of the things I kept telling my people, because I'm in tech heavily, and I said, listen, they're gonna steal your IP. They're gonna steal your intellectual property. There's nothing left for them to steal. They've already stolen the air. They're trying to steal the water. They're stealing land. That's been an age-old thing that they do, right? They're now trying to do something where they can go against your living wills and those type of things, right? Some things can still end up in probate court. See, the government and a lot of these corporations, you have to understand, for them to generate the level of money that they generate, they can't do it by sheer offering value into the marketplace. No, they can't do that. They need to take from someone else. And this is something that we know record companies have done. If someone wanted to get a record deal, at that level, I just think you're just stupid and desperate, and you deserve whatever comes to you. You cannot, in this hour, there's no way you could be this ignorant and stupid, to sign these deals and think you're just going to get out. Because if they're going to get it, they're going to get it on paper, or they're going to get it in blood. Okay? Because that insurance, when they need some money, and if you are a what we call is a civilian casualty, and they can cash out a $50 million policy out on you, you think you done got out of the record deal, and you think they're gonna get their money out of you. So there'll be a nice car crash, and then or whatever, and then they'll probably kill off your kids. Not saying that's ever happened. I don't know how many famous people have died and then their kids stop mysteriously dying. And if the kids are enriched to owning the intellectual properties. This has happened with inventors. It's crazy, right? They don't have the ability to be true artists and to bring something of value to the market. No. Okay. Oh yeah, he definitely Stacy Phyllis Hyman. We know about that, right? And I always feel so sad about her. I always feel so sad about her. Okay. So, let me finish this up with the IPs. And I told people, I said, listen, I've been studying this for a very long time, and I'm telling you, and because I study blockchain technology, they're ahead of it. They're keeping so many things under wraps, you all. They're keeping things so under wraps so that you don't protect and put a hedge around what you have. And what's sad is you all have ideas. You have things in your phone. You have things on your social media platforms. You have things in the cloud. You have things on external disks. You have things that are in your office and in your books and in your journals, and you have failed to act on those things. And I'm going to tell you why you're not getting what you want out of life, because you have failed to be a good steward, an actionable steward over what God has placed in your hands. And I know y'all going to get mad at me for being a little preachy, but y'all know I love to talk about Matthew 25. Oh, is it Matthew 15:25 or Matthew 25:15? I'm dyslexic, y'all. Nonetheless, it's about the land servant or the land master, which is a foreshadow, a representation of God, and he leaves them with talents. And the wicked man, he said, the man that went and buried his talent, right? And let me tell you something. Different scholars reference the talent amount to different amounts across different scholars. But for the most part, a talent, y'all have to understand, a talent, which was, I think, a Roman or a Greek, I think it was a Roman quantifying of money. A talent was anywhere between $1 million to like 1.5 or $1.2 million. So imagine God has given, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, each and every one of you all listening under my voice, I'm gonna tell you right now, and I know this for fact, and I can say this with sheer confidence: every single one of you all have over $1 million of value. Every single one. I'm gonna get a little bold right here. I am prophetically saying that. I am saying that with sheer confidence that everyone, if you hear this, I know at minimum, every single one of you all have an estimated value of $1 million. I know that for fact. And that's at minimum. Some of you all are sitting on millions. And I know this because this has been the case with me, and this has been the case with so many of my clients. The problem is we have set up our own hedges and glass protection through the excuses that we use. All right. And I'm going to need you to shadow that. As you take and this is why this is an audit, because I need you to understand, you have to understand, when the man with the talent did nothing and he went and he buried the talent, when you put something in the cloud, you bury in your talent. That's the money, that's the value, okay? When you leave money not put it in the exchange so that it could get a yield and get interest added onto it, you're burying the talent. When you spend money that you shouldn't be spending and it should go towards something that can give you yield, you're burying the talent. When you're sitting on multiple products and business ideas and all these different things, you are burying the talent. because the value of that business, a lot, just because you can't see it worth $1.5 million don't mean it's not. You're looking at, oh, only thing I have is some dandelion, the only thing I have is some leaves, or the only thing I have are some PDFs, and you don't realize, though, you're sitting on this extravagant or this enormous amount of value. Again, stop leaving this stuff in the cloud. Stop leaving in your phones. How many of you all, your phones, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you won't want to know why they want so much access to your phone. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I can't prove it yet. That's right. But Brandon, you remember, like seeds to millions. A lot of you all, that's an old class that I taught y'all. I don't, that I believe that we all, some of us know that we all have an insurance policy, right? I think, I forget how much each insurance policy is, but your birth certificate is an insurance policy. Okay. People could say, oh, that's conspiracy theorists or whatever. All of us are traded on the stock market. And I know this because we're all about to get on the blockchain. I've been said, people get mad at me about this, but I'm telling you, everything will be quantified on the blockchain. And then that we are bonds. And so what happens, there's a surety, right? There's a surety for each and every one of us. And so they take out loans and all these different things against us. And they're saying this person is going to, whether that's in taxes, fees, or whatever, it's already calculated how many millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars in the course of one's life, on average, that person represents. This has been going on since I would say the one of the early concepts in America, because if you go on to Chambers Street in New York, y'all have to understand, in the stock market, what was the first commodity on the stock market? Anyone want to tell me? Who want to tell me what was the first commodity on the stock exchange? Who wants to take a gander at it? You already know it. Nobody? You don't know? You don't know the first thing that was on come on, Brandon got it. Humans. You know how they show old slave movies and then they put you on a box and they would put different slaves on a particular box? Well, they did that to blacks and they did that to the Irish. And that's when commodities, you are commodity. I'm not saying we have to look at ourselves, but you have to understand how these devils look at us, right? We're commodities. Humans, mankind is a commodity, and you are traded on an open market. One of the highest grossing revenue on the black market right now is, guess what? Human trafficking. It never died. It never died. And you think things have changed. So why am I talking about that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I'm sending out the replay, Rena. I'm sending out the replay in a little bit later today. We had a great Bank Yourself. By the way, you all, Bank Yourself, I got bullied. No, we are celebrating. We've had Bank Yourself officially for 1 full year, y'all. So end of June made an official a year for Bank Yourself. All right, and so I am gonna, June 27th made it officially a year, and so I'm gonna be doing a whole lot of celebration for Bank Yourself members. We do have a binder class on the 12th. So if you want to join, that's like an adult study hall. And it's only, right now, it's only $15.99. If you want to join in on the Zoom and you want help with auditing your life, I've been teaching on this for a very long time. So I've created systems, right? I've created systems for people to do an analog audit, right? For us to extrapolate data and to compile that data into a document form, into binders. I'm going to be releasing all kind of action plans and all those different things. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. So, if you're on the email list, look out for that. If you're not on the email list, okay, if you haven't been getting emails, you're most likely not on the email list. but because I removed I removed thousands off my email list. Email to get on the email list is invitation only. At this point, I don't allow it to the open market. I have a very close based with my customers and my I don't like to say followers. We we call ourselves bankers over here. Okay. But going back to the humans being on the stock market, I can't prove it, y'all, but I can prove it. You want to know what's just as valuable as you? Anyone want to take a gander? I think Brandon already knows. Okay. I think Brandon already knows. And Ant, hey, what's up, Ant? Trizzy says, will the replay will there be a replay if we pay for it? Absolutely. Actually, and I'm you're gonna be able to keep the replay. You'll be able to keep the replay. So yes. Anytime you pay for a class, unless there's very seldom I don't let you keep it. But you'll be able to keep it. Okay. Now you have to download it within 30 days, but if you download it onto your own server or external hard drive or your computer or phone, you get to keep it forever. Okay. So absolutely. I'm doing it like an adult study hall. So it's a very long, but I'm not doing any classes this summer. And it's like a gift thingy because we're doing the whole anniversary right now. So I was like, why not? So yeah. So where's it at? That's right, Brandon. Oh, hey, Patrice. Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Ant says, I'm leveraging AI to build me digital slaves. Baby, let me tell you something. I don't tell them that but because I don't want them to turn on me. But so the roles will reverse. I will be the master. Let me tell you something. And you know what, Ant? I don't even teach people that anymore. They can contract out with me and I help them build the air quotes digital slaves. But I'm telling you, a lot of people, they have no idea. And it's such a strong skill set to have your, as I call them, my employees that are all digital to work for me. It's such a skill set. But going back, and then I'm gonna get back to the lesson, y'all, and we're gonna ride out. I was talking about mankind being on the stock market and how you are traded. And I was saying I can't prove this, but I can prove this. What is just as important and what a lot of people secretly don't realize is going to be an Achilles heel, and I'm looking at all the legislation that's going on about it, it is your cell phone. Listen, I've seen people dang there hanging off of cliffs, getting in accidents, being shot at, running for their lives, doing everything. And let me tell you, you want to know something people don't drop? They won't drop their phone. There have been people where I've seen them in like a life or death situation, and they are refusing to drop their phone. Our phones are tethered to us. You can barely do anything without it being tethered to your phone. You need to validate who you are. It's going to come through either SMS or it's going to come through some type of authorization app. Or you're going to have to verify through one of your social media platforms, through Facebook, or you're going to have to verify yourself through YouTube or through Google. Okay? Right. Whole earthquakes and folks are going live. And I'm going to tell y'all something. People are not going to, this is why I've been teaching my people to back up off. This is how we have de-Googled ourselves. I went back to a flip phone. I do have a smartphone, but it barely has anything on it. I've taken off massively. I don't have no kind of gaming app. I have operational phones for my businesses. None of my phones have a data service attached to it. My phones are only talk and text only. If I want to access YouTube, is the only social media, and X sometime, but I took X off my phone. And then if I need to see something real quick, I will literally re-download it go on it, see what I need to see, and then I take it off my phone. But most of the time I access YouTube, and I access I would say X, right? Which is Twitter, via my desktop. I've been I've been reconditioning myself, and I'm gonna tell you, most people cannot recondition themselves. Most people cannot divorce themselves from their phone. We are massively addicted to our phone. Most people can't go to the bathroom without their phone. They can't go to the kitchen and cook a meal without their phone. They can't walk to the mailbox without their phone. They cannot leave the house and will not leave the house without their phone. They can be 5 miles out and will turn back around to go get their phone. I remember one day I left my house, and this is what really set me off to go and get a flip phone. I left my house without my cell phone, which was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna tell y'all something. It felt like when I was back in the 90s, and the only thing you made sure you left the house with was some quarters. Right? I remember I would leave the house. Me and my cousins, if I was back in Boston, we would leave the house. We had money for a payphone. And then if you didn't have money for a payphone, we could, in the mall, you could go into a store and say, hey, can I use your phone real quick to call my mom to pick me up from the mall? Or you could collect through a payphone and tell someone, and you could actually, y'all, I don't know if you know this, but there was a time you could call someone collect, right? You could call someone collect. Who remembers this? You could call someone collect through a payphone, right? And the payphone had a phone number to it. Yes, a phone booth. The payphone had a phone number to it. And then you would give the person the phone number to the payphone booth. I remember I did this. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but there was a payphone booth that I would use because at the time, I think I was living with my older brother or something like that. And it was always an issue with the phone. So I would have my friends call the payphone booth and I would tell them around what times I would be there. Or at that time we was using beepers. So I would just be like, call the payphone. And I'll just be standing by the payphone waiting for phone calls like it's my own phone. I don't know if y'all was at, is that ghetto? Is that giving ghetto? I don't know. Okay. Cause you could call the payphone back for free and I didn't have to waste my quarters. Right. But when I left the house, that time with no cell phone, y'all, I felt like I was on an adventure. I felt so free. I literally felt like there was a cord that was broken. I felt amazing. And this is why I went back to, going to an MP3 player. So when I go on my bike rides, I just have my music. I don't want to be tethered, but we are so afraid. Like, what if we miss this call? And what if we do this or whatever? And they know this. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, let's say you're being traded on the stock market. I'm going to tell you right now, in most people's phones, and I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna say that right now. I ain't gonna say that on the internet right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if, and I'm looking for laws, if they're going to start, let's say you die, right? Or someone dies. We're going to start seeing courts or phone companies automatically doing like a lock security on phones. And they're going to start taking people's phones. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you right now, most of you all have probably millions of dollars of intellectual property on your phone that you don't even realize. Mark my words. I am a really good forecaster. Okay. And I already see this happening. Your phone, listen, the data, come on, yo, I didn't even go that far, but this has been a theory, and come on, crypto. All of us they're going to have digital wallets. Most people already have digital wallets. I'm telling you right now, everyone is going to end up having some form of government digital wallet. Not some of us aren't because we're decentralized hybrids, but overwhelmingly large amount of people are going to have digital wallets on their cell phones. Not only that, people's business operations, people's policies, emails, everything. If you want to crack someone's life, If you wanted to crack into someone's life, only thing you need is their phone. If you can get onto the phone, you're going to be able to bypass so many other legalities. See, let me tell you something. The phone almost act as if you're at, and hear me out, is like being in maritime, like in international waters. The laws are very skewed. But I'm noticing a lot of things because they're tying your data to your phone right now. I'm sorry, your identity. Digital ID is tied to your cell phone. Why do you think they're doing all these flock cameras? How do you think they're able to catch a lot of people to see if a person say they're like, oh, was you in this such and such area? No, sir, I wasn't in this such and such area. Well, sir, your cell phone pinged in this area where the body was found at these times. Why was you in this area? And you told us you wasn't in this area. And I was me and my dad was out in the country today, and we was looking at a bunch of land, right? We was out, what was that? I think it was Tifton. We was in Tifton, Georgia. Okay. Where there's some big old rebel flags out there, whatever. And we pulled over because it was these beautiful white donkeys. And there was this white man outside. Then next thing you know, the white man and my daddy having church because they ministering to one another. And we was out on this white man's land. He said, please don't mind the rebel flag. Some people get offended, but it's just from the Civil War. We was like, we don't care, because I be in Georgia, we see rebel flags everywhere, right? And so we was out there. What was the point I was gonna make with that? Oh my goodness, there was a point I was gonna make with it, and I just told it totally just went past me. Anyway, oh my goodness, I forgot. There was a point with what I was talking about. Nonetheless, your phones are tied to you, y'all. Oh no, that's what it was. So I'm out in the sticks. Lo and behold, guess what I'm pointing out. This is in rural Georgia, y'all. I'm talking about farmland, country land. You drive for 30 miles, ain't nothing but bales of hay. There's nothing but cornfields and pecan trees and peach trees and okay, your neighbor's 2 miles up the road. There's a lot of dirt roads around. Conveniently though, I started, because I know flock cameras, I started pointing out the flock cameras to my dad. I said, you see that? And he didn't even know what those were. And he was in law enforcement. And because back in the day, it's another term that there's another thing that they was using, the cell towers. But now they got the flock cameras. The flock cameras, check it out. The flock cameras scan your license plate as well as collect data from your cell phone as it's passing. This is one reason why I tell my people, you want to put your phones in a Faraday bag, and I don't want to use ISP. I don't have data connected to my phone, a data plan connected to my phone. And so I'm trying, there's spy devices everywhere. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is everywhere. Okay. And so they're building a map off of you, baby. And I'm gonna tell you, people gonna stop when someone dies. You're gonna have people ages like CIA. I ain't gonna say CIA level, but if someone's dead, I can see it with law enforcement are gonna be trained to confiscate the cell phone immediately. And family will not be able to get the phone unless there are some form of agreement. Like when I say like a power of attorney or legalities where the family can actually get the phone. I'm telling you, yes, it's funny you said that. They're also talking about something called payable on death. Yep, to update your beneficiaries to keep your assets from going to probate. Yes, this is what I was talking about earlier, Akenda. I was actually talking about this earlier. It's payable on death. Is this and a couple of other things that they're trying to do legislatively. And it's crazy. Why? Because they have to steal from you. Okay. So great question. Hey, Kimberly, but how can they hack your crypto without your passkeys? Hopefully you're not keeping your passkey in your phone. Yes, but here's the thing. If you don't have a cold wallet, it doesn't matter. If you don't have a cold wallet, it doesn't matter because it's already on a centralized exchange. And you have states like Illinois and California that's already have legislation built in to be able to confiscate dormant cryptos. I think there's a huge case going on that in New York right now. I think this is Leola. They can backdoor and change data, biometric data, wink, wink. And this is why you also want to, why you all also want to get rid of bio data. But here's the thing, y'all. This is a catch-22. I've used bio data. I did it years ago with Clear. Now I was in law enforcement. So as a law enforcement officer, I'm already in the system. We were dummies back then. I didn't know no better, but we have to get fingerprinted. They take our bio data. I wouldn't be surprised if they start taking our DNA, or already have, right? So I was already privy to this, but a lot of things, and I'm telling you, this is going to start happening now. I was working with a client on Sunday. We was wrapping up a new company of hers, and so we was setting up all the accounts. We was doing all these different things, y'all. We went in and set her up a PayPal account, and I was mortified. We went in, she's sharing the screen. PayPal won't even allow you. They won't even allow you to set up a new PayPal account unless you use biometric data. Unless you set up a passkey, which is using a form of biometric collection. And y'all know I don't like PayPal. I don't like the PayPal mafia whatsoever. So I was, because I hadn't done it in so long, I was like, oh, this would just be easy. It was always very easy. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if you do not get your home in order, if you don't get, like we're doing next Sunday, we're doing the whole binders class. I would love to have you all come on in. We're doing all of that. So we'll be able to have ways around a lot of this, because it's going to be a fight having to prove yourself. And this is intentionally being made hard. And they're doing this right now with the legislative, what is called the Kids Act or something like that. The kids something. I forget what is called. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I know I want y'all to be able to look this up. Hold on. It's all over on X. Let's see. Let me go to my page. Let me go to my profile. Where's it at? And if someone remembers the name of it, oh yeah, it is. It's the Kids Act. It's called the Kids Act. Okay. The Kids Act is a Trojan horse. I'm telling you now. And I've been warning my people this was going to happen. I didn't know they was going to use. I knew they was going to implement KYC in some kind of way. But now you're not going to be able to use social media unless you use biometric, or if you upload your ID, your driver's license. I'm telling you that now. You're going to have to verify yourself. And I'm going to tell you how many content creators, how many people are addicted to their social media, how many people make content and do all these different things. You're not going to be able to act, which I've been training my people for the longest time, saying, hey, this is coming. Web 2 is about to go out the door. Web 3 is here, y'all. And they got you distracted with all this other stuff. And I haven't even gotten, you know what? I need to get into the lesson. I think you get my point. But I'm telling you now, you better get technologically savvy. And let me say something to my older adults. Listen, I have a heart for my seasoned mothers and fathers. Okay. Bless your hearts. But let me tell you something. The level of ignorance in tech with older adults is terrifying. And you all are going to get hit the hardest because you refuse to take a tech class. You think if I take this tech class, then it's like you're doing a sin, or like you're not fighting against the system. If you're ignorant to the system, you're going to be a victim of it. I'm sorry. The technological aspects. I know y'all want to walk in. My parents are like this, right? My parents still go down to City Hall to pay their water bill. Okay. They gonna mail in the check. They that type. And I'm sitting here online. I was just doing this with my dad, and I got frustrated because old people, will piss you off when you gotta do something from then and it's got to deal with tech. Oh my lord, you I don't I stopped praying for patience because I got parents. Okay. And what they say, once a man, twice a child. And so I had to deal with that with a number of my dad's insurance policies. Okay. And I'm trying to get things set up technologically because I'm like, look, dad, this is you don't want to be giving this information over the phone to another person. The person you're talking to is not in the office, they're in their home. They could be writing down your credit card number or your information. They see your policy. It's hard having these conversations with older people. And I'm telling you, a lot of you are going to get your homes stolen. You're going to get money taken out of your accounts. You're going to be the first line of defense. And you have to understand a lot of these businesses, a lot of these companies, they're outsourcing cheaper labor. And the cheaper labor could still be in the United States, but they're working from home. Okay. And then what they do when you go to the water company, when you go and you pay these things in person, they're delaying certain things and they're trying to make things as inconvenient for you. They're trying to make things as inconvenient for you. My dad requested to get some information on his insurance policy. Why they send him a packet? He has to fill out this packet and do this and do that. Then they gonna mail it, and it takes 14 to 21 business days. And I said, no, we're not doing this. We're getting on the phone, and this is how we're gonna do it. So now, I'm over their estate. So I got to do all this stuff, but it's still a headache. And then you got old people working against you because they're like, no, we just gotta. They trust everybody, you know. And so listen, and when I say older people, a lot of you all are in your 40s and 50s, and you are just as technologically ignorant. Do you understand me? And the stuff that is about to be released is so advanced. If you don't, I'm a natural with these things. I can listen, the things I know how to do, I could build apps in a matter of, well, most people could build, if you know how. You could build an app in minutes, but I know how to like build out things. I know how, if I'm having any kind of tech issues, I literally know how to reverse engineer and figure things out. I truly believe I could build a car engine through Chat GPT. I'm gonna keep it a buck, okay? And so, but with people who have not been using these tools, it is what they're about to roll out is so extremely complicated, and it's scary. And I remember I was just working on something and I was helping some of my clients and I was, helping my parents. And I was like, if my parents didn't have, all my siblings are spread out. I'm the only one that's here in Georgia. My other brother has to come from Florida. The other one's overseas. The other one's up north. I'm mostly the one that helped them with technological stuff or whatever. And they live hours away from me in North Atlanta. So it's like, it's a very complicated thing. And so you all are going to have to, if you don't learn this, you better have someone you can trust. And even then I wouldn't keep them. I'll keep them in eye shot, because you want to make sure people who's going to operate on your behalf can do your will trustingly. Okay. So someone says, hey, Brooklyn, she says, I have an associate who's in graphics and refused to listen to my music because I use AI to sing the lyrics that I wrote. She despises AI. She refuses to learn it. Yeah, some people, they're so closed off, and I understand where they're coming from, but they're chewing off their own arm, because now they're going to find themselves it's going to be an arms race, right? Beyond an arms race, right? Whereas they're going to be so far ahead now, behind. And now I will say this again, this may be a catch-22. Nonetheless, I don't think everyone needs to rush into, let's say, AI, but they need to understand blockchain technology. They need to understand LLMs. They need to understand certain levels of quantum physics and mechanics, because that's where we're at. And it's only going to be for those that are advanced. And let me tell you, you don't have to be too advanced to understand these things. We talked about this yesterday, Carolyn. Okay, it's funny you brought this up. We talked about this yesterday in Bank Yourself, and I don't know if y'all seen this, but she's right. They are doing the biometric thing here in Mexico. Oh my goodness, is this who I think it is? Is this one of my, I think this is one of my, I have a couple of clients in Mexico and students in Mexico, and I think this is who it is, with cell phones, but millions of people are not complying. Yeah. And let me tell you how they're going to get them to comply when they roll out UBI. It is you. Oh my goodness. Hey, girl. Hey. When they roll, that's how they're going to get people, y'all. They're gonna, let me tell you, they're gonna roll out when we get this collapse, which may happen this month. When they get the collapse, they're gonna roll out UBI, and for you to be able to get your UBI, for you to, they already tested this with COVID, y'all. This was already tested. You understand me? This was already tested. So I'm telling you right now, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it either way they can. Okay. Lee, you ain't lied. She says some of the young folks are gonna get left too. You absolutely right. And let me tell you, it's scary. The level of incompetence and ignorance of some of these young kids. They see, at least with the boomers and some of the older people, they have soft skills. They have soft skills. They have communication skills. They have grit. They have things because, respectfully, a lot of our seasoned adults or have been in positions where they've had to develop this over decades. These young kids, I'm talking about, I'm seeing this in 30-year-olds. I'm seeing this in 20-year-olds and some of the teens. The level, I mean, dumb as a box of rocks. Listen, I interact with people and there's nothing in the head. There's nothing. No one's home. Nobody's home. I didn't think, and I have to watch my words so I'm not insensitive, but I seen a kid sweep a floor and I was like, this dude is, what word can I use? I don't want to use that word. It was a bad word. Okay. I didn't know you can sweep a floor stupidly. I've seen people wipe tables at a restaurant and I'm like, so let me tell you, there's a technique for everything, right? So let's say you're going to wipe off a counter. Let's say there's a bunch of food and things on the table, right? Or on your counter. What you do, you go, you get the washcloth. You get the washcloth, you put some soap on the washcloth, you run it under some hot water, right? Because we just want to, there may be some pre-bacteria there. So we're going to rinse that off real good. And then we're going to wring it out real good. And then what we're going to do, we're going to nicely swoop. Y'all know that good swoop, right? There's a good swoop when you wipe a counter or when you wipe the stove or when you wipe, a table or booth at a restaurant. You ever seen someone wipe it stupidly? They didn't have a skill. They didn't. I'm like, how you don't know how to wipe a table properly? You don't left water on the table. There's condensation. There's little puddles. You wipe the table in a way that where you was literally spreading the food across the table. Let me tell you something. And you may be like, Kim, that's a little too deep. Okay, until it's time for you to sit down at the table. Until you get someone who's sweeping the floor and kicking up dust around while you're eating. These are soft skills. These are things in etiquettes in business and having a job that people do not what's the word? What's the word? It starts with a D. Not distinguish, but oh my Lord, I have a brain fog. But they don't showcase this. Anyway, let me finish this up and then I'm gonna go. That means the second half. Hold on, y'all. That means the second half of 2026 does not have to be a repeat of the first half. But you cannot quantum leap while refusing to look at the receipts. Look at the receipts. You cannot quantum leap while dragging 6 months of uninspected habits into the next 6 months. You understand me? Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Let me move that. You cannot quantum leap while protecting the very pattern that keeps you slowing down. You cannot quantum leap and stay allergic to accountability. The first half of 2026 gave you receipts. The second half of 2026 requires stewardship. So today, we are here, or we are going to audit your mind, your money, your body, your home, your business, your habits, your attention, your execution, your obedience. And if you want to join in with us on Sunday the 12th, we are doing a binder class. And we're going to set up on this is going to be the analog build out. We're going to use an analog means to do this. And then I might follow up with another class later on, maybe in August, where we're going to do now take things digitally and stop putting those things are reflecting those into our binders as well. But it's phenomenal, y'all. I've gotten rave reviews on my binder classes. I do all types of, that's all I did for the first half of the year, was showing people how to set up binders, life binders, do it for everything. And y'all, I'm telling you, you need to do this. You have to do this to preserve and to protect your intellectual property, your insurance, your cryptos, your properties, everything. If you're like, well, I don't really have nothing. No, you do. You have a lot. You have a lot. Trust me. As I said, every single one of you under the sound of my voice, I know this for fact. And this and hear me out. Remember earlier I was talking about the talents, the men with the talents. Now I hope you know that was a foreshadow. That was a parable, a parable of Christ, or Father God. That was a parable of God, right? The husbandman, the master, and then the servants who he gave a talent to. Okay, who he gave a talent to are a representation of us. Now, scholars say that one talent was worth anywhere between was quantified in today's numbers, in today's money, would be about 1.5, 1.3, maybe up to $2 million. So I want to say something to you. And I don't like to, I'm not adding to, nor am I taking away from the word of God. But could it be that the word was saying this as well? Because there's layers to that. It's one of my favorite stories for stewardship. Could it be that the word was saying, hey, every single one of you all that are walking this earth, I don't care what's going on with you, especially in this time, every single one of you have a valuation. Listen, has an evaluation of minimum $1 to $1.5 million. Can y'all just sit on that for a minute? Can you just sit on that for a minute? By default, every single one of you. But you don't know how to value what you have because you have failed to steward what is in your hand. You have failed to steward your refrigerator. You have failed to steward your car. You have failed to steward the micro businesses that God has given you. You have failed to steward your time. You have failed to steward your belly and what you eat. And because you failed to steward it, it is likened to the man that buried his talent. And he said, and when you find the revelation of why, and you have to understand, the master said he was wicked. When the master came back to see what they did with their talent, the master said not only was he wicked, but the master cast him into utter darkness. Do y'all know what utter darkness is? What is referenced as utter darkness? I'll tell you. When we read of utter darkness in the word of God, utter darkness is hell. Utter darkness is life and eternity in hell. Come on, Ingrid, it's the pit of hell. So you mean to tell me this man buried his talent? He didn't go. God is saying, I'll rather you go and try to make $1. I would rather you go and do something. You may not get millions in returns and hundreds of thousands of dollars in return, but you used what I gave you. and you was able to quantify, you was able to at least maybe he, let's say he's giving you $1 million, and that $1 million, it feeds you and your family for the rest of your life. You just, only thing you get is yields of corn and berries and all that, but it sustains you. And you got to, and I just, I maybe we need to look at it as such. So a quantum leap is what happens when you audit, when the audit reveals the leak, and you finally stop pretending you don't need to see it. So if you're watching this live, I want you to stay with me. If you are watching the replay, do not treat this like old content. This is your checkpoint. It's meeting you where it needed to meet you. This is your mid-year audit, and I need you to ask yourself one question before we go any further. Am I actually behind, or have I simply refused to inspect the evidence? So what audited means, right? Let's define it. When I say you are under audited, air quotes, I mean there are areas of your life that have activity but no review. Okay. And I run reviews with my employees weekly. Some things I run monthly. Okay. You need to always put yourself under review, even if it's for 5 minutes. Run some introspection. Okay. There is movement, but no measurement. There is spending, but no reconciliation. There are ideas, but no execution report. You have, dreams, but there's no structure. There are prayers, but there's no stewardship. Okay. There are goals, but no tracking. There are problems, but no root cause inspection. And this is important because some of us keep trying to fix our lives emotionally when the issue is operational. Can I say that again? Some of you are trying to fix your life, and you keep trying to fix your life emotionally when the issue is not emotions, it's an operational issue. You feel as though you're stuck. You say I feel stuck, but stuck where? Are you stuck in your calendar and your money and your health and your home? Are you stuck in your business and your content, relationships, and decision making? Are you stuck in consistency? Because I feel stuck is too vague. An audit does not let you hide behind vague language. An audit asks, where is the evidence? Show me the calendar. Show me the bank statement. Show me your pantry. Show me the offer. Show me the content. Show me the daily routine. Show me the sleep pattern. Show me the receipt. Show me what actually happened, not what you intended, not what you thought about, not what you almost did, not what you wanted to do. What happened? Because if that is where freedom starts. Freedom starts when you stop arguing with the report. Some of you are not behind. You are just emotionally attached to a version of the story that the evidence does not support. And that sounds hard, but it is mercy. Because once you see the real leak, you can stop wasting energy on fake problems. Because a lot of y'all have fake problems. You go looking for stuff because you don't want to deal with the fact that you just didn't want to do it. Okay? You just didn't want to do it. All right? I need you to understand that. Okay? You may need a new life. You may need a weekly review. You may need a new business. Okay? You may need one clear offer. You may not need more motivation. I tell my people, I don't deal in the realm of motivation. Y'all need to retire motivation. Motivation. Listen, I wouldn't dare build a business or do anything. I wouldn't do a fitness program. I wouldn't do nothing off of motivation because, baby, motivation stick around for about 2.5 seconds. You listen. Can I share something real private with y'all? And I hope you hear my heart here because y'all know I always got to go to the word. You want to know something that changed my life? And it's something I've been teaching for a while, but I've been teaching on stewardship, but there's another part I haven't shared with y'all. When I learned to compound stewardship with worship, and let me tell you what I mean by that. I finally had got a revelation. I was like, God, why do you keep teaching me on stewardship? What's this thing on stewardship? Why you have me like, I will, let me tell you something. There's been times let's say I'm in the supermarket or I'm in a store and I'll walk past something and it's on the floor. Now, y'all know I'm famous for saying, I don't work here. Okay. I'll tell you in a minute, I don't work here. All right. I am a customer. But the Lord started testing me in little ways, right? I'll see something like I have a thing with what's those things on the baseboards? I need my baseboards need to be clean, okay? But I don't like getting on my knees. And I want to scrub them, right? And there'll be little things where something to be out of place, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'll get to it." Well, I will hear the Holy Spirit literally nagging me. I could be in a store, and if something's out of place, now it's not everything, but there was sometimes when something was so out of place that someone would either get hurt or it'll get crushed or it was, whatever the case may be. And the Holy Spirit would say, Kimberly, pick that up. Kimberly, go ahead and walk that back to such and such. I'm like, I don't work here. That's what I'm telling the Holy Spirit. Right? Or in my own house, he had me do, it would be little things like I'd be like, oh, because I don't like to come downstairs or turn off my light. So then I have a home ritual, y'all, and it's called in my Streak app. I either wake up my house or I shut down my house. And waking up my house, I open up all my blinds, like all my windows, because I love natural light. I have skylight, I have big bay windows. I love light. Okay. That's how I wake up my house, and I prune my plants, and I talk to my plants, and I talk to my charged water and all that stuff. Okay. But then I also shut down my house, and the Holy Spirit showed me how to like it's literally a ritual that I do, right? And I couldn't understand it until one day. I think I was reading Romans 12, and I know Romans 12 by heart. He says, Paul said, I beseech ye, therefore, brethren, to present thy body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Now, let me tell you what I got out of that. It's always Romans 12 have always been one of my favorite ones, right? I don't know why, I just loved it. And what he showed me, he says, Kimberly, everything that you do in your business, that you do in your home, when you sit down and you take the time to do your facials, to clean your body, to clip your toenails, to brush your teeth, even when you don't feel like, you're like, I'll do it in a minute. There's been times I'll be like, oh, I'll come back. Let me just go ahead and do it. And he'll say, don't walk out your bedroom until you brush your teeth. And I'm like, God, I'm coming right back. I'm going to brush him. And what he was showing me, I had to be obedient unto what he had hearkened unto me immediately. And so when he started retraining me in stewardship, it was by these very micro actions in my own life. Even with my business, there was some, like, I'm adamant, like Friday and Saturdays, I don't work. If you text me or call me past a certain time, I'm not responding. If you do an email past a certain time, I'm not responding. And I actually got rebuked because sometimes I would do it after hours. And God says, no, the time I want you, your worship time is to work the hours I have you to work within those parameters, and you do what you're supposed to do in those parameters. The reason why you're doing things after hours because you failed to steward and do what you were supposed to do during your work hours. And he was nitpicking, y'all. Nitpicking. And it's to the point now. So even if, like, I don't like when people don't put their shopping cart in the thing. Now, I've always been the kind of person, I will take a shot. If someone leaves a shopping cart, I will walk over and get it. But it's on a whole nother level now. And what made me a better business person? What made me more profitable? I get favor when I'm in public, y'all. The level of favor that I get from strangers, people smile, they talk to me, they yield things to me. I am very blessed. And you want to know why? It's because the Lord started showing me, Kimberly, how you act and what you do whether in secret or when you're outside and I have you, there's a loaf of bread that fell on the floor. You seen it fall and you didn't do it, but I want you to walk a little bit further down that aisle, and I want you to pick it up and I want you to put it on the shelf. While I'm telling God, I don't work here. But guess what? I started doing it even more. If I'm at a market or something at a store and I see an old person and I'm parking, one time I sat in my car because I seen how far the buggy place was, and I waited for the perfect time, and so I could get out my car so I could take the shopping cart from the old person, so that they wouldn't have to walk. Because I just wanted to make their day simpler. Right? That is stewardship. That is governance. This is why I'm teaching you all how to govern. And the Lord was showing me how to show people how to do governance with a binder. I'm telling you, the revelation I got over about binders. It was and you'll be like, Kim, what's the big deal? I'm telling you. So what I'm teaching my people and what I'm discussing with you all, this was stuff that he showed me. And this is how you get the favor of God. And when you do these things, what happens? This is your reasonable service. Romans 12. I beseech ye therefore, brethren, meaning I beg you therefore, brethren, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. You all need to present your reasonable service. And guess what? When a customer pisses me off or do something to offend me, I'm not mad, because guess what? I'm not working for Kimberly. I'm working for the kingdom of God, because this is my reasonable service. This is worship unto God, because I'm using the talent, I'm using the money, I'm using the ideas, I'm using the creativity. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So when a client or a customer doesn't show up for themselves the way that they need to, guess what? I don't feel guilty. I don't get mad. I don't get frustrated with them. You want to sabotage your life? Ma'am, you go ahead and do that. Make sure you fulfill the invoice. Go ahead and finish that invoice, because I'm not going to feel bad for what you failed to do. I'm doing what I need to do with my talents. I'm doing what I need to do with my 1.5, 1.3 million that God gave me at birth. Okay? I'm doing my part. And a lot of you all need to understand that. I'm telling you, you'll be able to release a whole lot of people. A lot of people are out here self-sabotaging, and they thinking they need motivation, and they need money, and they don't need that. Everything is within your hand. I can guarantee you that. Everything that you need is in your hand. And the favor of God is upon your life. But you have to show yourself, study and show yourself thyself approved, right? You gotta do these things, right? The micro actions, everything. I even help people build micro businesses. How is it you want to build a business? I deal with people who I want to make 10,000 a month. All right, baby girl, I got you. How about this? I help you build a business where you make $1,000 a month, and it's on autopilot. You probably only have to put in a few hours a month, 10 hours at best, but those 10 hours will yield you $1,000 in a micro business. You think they're faithful over that? No. How you gonna be faithful over little and expect, or unfaithful over little, but expect to get an increase and get an abundance? You a lie, and the truth ain't in you. So retire the motivation. Motivation is crap. No motivation. You have to learn to do things out of duty, and you have to learn to do things out of stewardship. And lastly, you have to learn to do things out of worship unto God. I'm not saying making things religious. What I'm saying, and having a religious spirit, what I'm saying is that is our reasonable service. Everything that we do and that we put our hands to should give God glory. Should it not? But you want this windfall. All of you want the transference of wealth. Let me tell you something. I've been telling people with this air quote transference of wealth that's coming, how God gonna give you millions of dollars, gazillions of dollars, give you this transference of wealth, and you don't even know how to steward an account. You don't know how to not bounce a checkbook. You don't know how to balance a checkbook. You don't know how to keep a ledger. You don't even know how to go ahead. Have you all researched an asset manager? If you think you're going to get millions, you should be researching CFPs. You should be researching trust attorneys and trust law firms and organizations. You should be taking some classes on asset management. You should be seeing, how can I put certain things and annuities and all these different things. You need to be prepared. But everyone is screaming on the internet, there's a transference of wealth, and there's a transference of wealth. You would lose the transference of wealth in less than 6 months, because you don't know what to do with it. You don't even know how to prize and protect what it is that you have. You fail to steward your studio apartment. You fail to steward your car. You driving around. I don't care that you got some dents in your car. Is it clean? Is it clean? Are you vacuuming out your car? Do you still got old spilled ketchup in that console? Are you wiping it down? Are you getting the tires rotated? Do you have a binder for your car documents in your vehicle? Hmm? Are you servicing and are you cleaning up the overhead under your microwave? Are you pulling the stove out and sweeping up from underneath it? Are you washing your baseboards? Let me tell you something. And this is how you quantum leap. Mark my words. Master how to steward the little bit that you do have. Learn to steward that. Discard all this. What time is it? Oh, I got to go. I have to do the part 2 tomorrow. But learn to manage what is within your hand. Okay? All right? Are you just harboring things? I have a family member right now, and it's unfortunate they have they have a poverty spirit. And but you would now, mind you, they have money and they have a little bit of a net worth and all those different things, but because of how they live and because they fail to govern and steward what they have, and they harbor so many different things, they're harboring things thinking, oh, I'm gonna need this just in case. But here, let me tell you what they're doing. They're burying the talent. They're burying the talent. They're burying the value. For what? You're gonna have a house full of stuff for what? For most of the people in your family to go and take it to the junkyard. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if I had a man, if I had to come, if that person died and I had to come in their house, I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna back up the truck. I'm gonna call every Salvation Army in a 10-mile radius, because I know I'm gonna need about 5 trucks. And I'm gonna say, hey, you can go ahead and haul this away. Because what you value and what you think is of value, if you're not using it and putting it to use and showing other people how to use it, it's just junk that's accumulating in your garage, in your attic, in your house. And a lot of us are mini hoarders. You have to stop hoarding. Let's talk about it. And I don't want to take away from the word, and I don't want to add to, but was the man that went and buried the talent, was he hoarding? Was he hoarding? And y'all would please righteously correct me. Was that a form of hoarding? Okay. I'm just saying. Come on, Rena, for real. She said, I already told my mom most of the items are going to her church for the bazaar. Come on. For their bazaar. Zaina says, I watched the lady that used to work for CNN. She's no longer there. And she said she do not post anything social media because she do not trust what's going on in the media. Exactly. Exactly. And this is why I want a lot of you all to create these I'm sorry, get online and get offline, pulling things from your digital clouds and from your digital spaces and putting them in books, putting them in binders. Again, I hope you all join us on the 12th for the basic binder class that we're having. It's 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. You get the replay as well. It's $15.99. And in this, we're going to be doing audits. And now listen, y'all, I've been doing this for years. Okay. So I usually do this with my adult study hall. And though I'm on break, this is something that's definitely needed. It did now. I wasn't planning on doing this. I got beat up and bullied from my people last night. They know I'm playing with them. In Bank Yourself. And this is the bank. We have the bank. This month is Bank Yourself anniversary. So yeah. So y'all, I didn't even finish. Did I finish the monologue? I did. I'm gonna pick up with this with part 2 tomorrow. I'll probably do part 2 sometime around the evening. I'm not too sure. But there's too much more for me to go over. Nonetheless, I got you. We're gonna do a part 2 of this, whereas we're doing the 2026 audit. All right. You are not behind, you are under audited. And so I hope this blesses you. I hope you understand this convergence that's taking place. I understand a lot of us, like myself, we're not anti-tech, but we're anti-tech dependency. And so we're going in a different direction. And so I want to hold your hand in that. I don't mind helping you with that. Um, I thought that was you, Monique. Yeah. Hey girl. That's right, because you in Hawaii. Hawaii. um, but I'm telling you all, time is winding down and they're gonna trap you. And I'm not listen, I don't want to be a doomer. I cannot stand the people on the internet doing that. I think I'm pretty positive these days. I keep a lot of my conspiracy theories to myself. Do I? I don't know. Compared to how I used to be, I'm a low key. I try to fit in with the other NPCs and normies. I try to act like I got a calcified pineal gland and drink fluoride water. You know what I'm saying? I drink uncharged water. But because it's at the point, y'all. You can't convince people. Either they know or they don't know. If they don't know, what am I gonna do? Okay. Okay. Kev says I do compared to the times past. In the past, because it could go left field. I kind of ring it in. The funny thing is, when I go over the transcriptions, my bot is like, Kim, you're still going into the conspiracy stuff. You're still going to, like, you got to reel it in. I'm like, I can't help it. I got to let them know a little something. Come on, Quantum Mania, lead infused fluoride water. Okay. I have Lee. She says I've toned it all the way down. I think I have. Sometimes I hear the replay and be like, Lord, why did I say that? Do something, Lord, do something with your child. Cause I be going there, but I think I'm keeping it pretty easy. Hey, Brandon says, funny thing, I have a tinfoil hat and didn't know you have a matching hat. Listen, Kev, Kev. So I think Brandon, you and Brandon follow me on X. Guess what got released today? Remember yesterday in class, right? We was talking about D class. Why I go on X? And I reposted it. And let me tell you what it said. Hold on. I reposted it. I kid you not. And I said, what did I say was going to happen? Ooh, I gotta see that. Where's it at? I reposted it. Just in, Trump has reportedly ordered the acting intelligence chief, Bill Plute, to declassify documents tied to the 2020 elections. Okay? Listen. And we was talking about declass. This is just on July 1st. We got a whole month of declassified documents that's going to come. And so y'all can expect some blackouts. It's going to happen. We're going to see how aggressive they are with it. But declass, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but you know how that goes. That's a Kenda. She says, bank yourself class last night. Thank you for this impromptu live today. Much gratitude. I was gonna say muchas gracias. Yes, ma'am. Kev says, I do want to study more about quantum though. I'm gonna do a lot of quantum teaching. I don't know if I'm gonna do it over on the bank yourself side or I'm gonna do it over here. I have a lot of I got some books and different things to help people kind of get a head start. Everything is going to be quantum, y'all. Listen, this is the time for it. We've been seeing so much about quantum this year since the New Year class. So much to learn. Yes, and listen, and that class, I think in the class in the beginning, I said, y'all, I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to toot, but I have to give God the glory. This is going to be a quantum year. Did I not say that? And if any of you all have, you should still have it. I remember when I did the quantum leap class on, what was that, December 31st or January 1st? And I said, this is year of the quantum. This is a quantum year. Mind you, the government wasn't talking about quantum. No one was talking about quantum. But I was showing people like, hey, we're gonna quantum leap. I'm seeing this. This is what's gonna happen because of what's going on. And this was something that I had got from the Holy Spirit. And sure enough, if you go on White House Gov, y'all, if you go on the White House Gov, right, and you go into releases, they have released so much on quantum computing, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, quantum science, quantum financials. Everything is quantum. Everything. I'm invested in a coin. It's called Quant. Why? Why? Okay. Yeah, it's an ISO token. Y'all need to check it out. Okay. I'm telling you. So I don't want to do the whole I told you so, but y'all listen, I don't God has to, he be trying to, like, all right, Kim, you better tone it down. But one thing I can say is the Lord uses me. And I don't know. I wish I could sit here and be like, yeah, I be on it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all, the minute I start saying that, he gonna show me better than I can tell me. He gonna shut me all the way up. So I'm too scared to do that. So if you're like, why you gotta be so religious about it, y'all, I can't take the glory. I can't. I am a steward. I am a manager. Remember when I was talking to you about how God has made let me tell you something. A lot of people want power. A lot of people want control and they want to be a boss. And remember years ago, God told me I couldn't even call myself a CEO. He said, you a manager, and that's what I need you to do. A manager is a steward, y'all. And you have to understand, we are ambassadors for believers. We are ambassadors of Christ Jesus. And the only thing in this earth, you have to understand everything in this earth, he's given us dominion. We have authority in power by way of him, not on our own might. So you have your job as a steward. You a mother, you're a steward. You a husband, you're a steward. And when you start looking at things like this, your life will change. Things won't even be as hard. You won't get as offended. You won't get so mad. You won't get so frustrated because you're doing things as worship unto God, which is your reasonable service. Romans 12:1. And so we have to steward what is in our hand, what he has given us. We have to steward our time. We have to steward everything. And I promise you, you will obtain the favor of God by default. Okay. Let me see some more of these comments and then I'm gonna dip out. Oh, I think that was it. It was a lot more. I couldn't get to all of you all. I'm so sorry. But I pray you blessings. Understand in this hour, you want to quantum leap and you want the favor of God. You want to be in a position where he's using you, because I'm going to tell you, if you do it in your own might, if you do it, I don't do nothing out of willpower, y'all. I've hung that up. As a melanated woman in 2026, I'm not here to be strong. I'm not here to be a battle axe. I don't have nothing to prove. I don't need validation. I don't need this, that, and the third and 15 degrees to show that I'm worthy of something. I don't need that. Everything, when I started doing things as worship unto God, and I started wanting him glorified in what it is that I do, and I wanted to build deeper connections and relationships with my customers and with my clients, my world changed. I even do more. Why? Because what I do is worship unto him. But it took a lot of breaking down. And hopefully y'all don't have to go through everything that I went through. But it's a work. It's a work. And I personally think this entire video, if you watch it from or listen from beginning to end, that it is a blueprint that will ultimately change your life. Because I'm telling you now, and this is not me. I don't believe in word curses. Okay, so please, and if I'm misspeaking, may it fall to the ground and may it not prosper. May it die at its root. But I am 1,000% sure, you all, if you don't steward, if you don't manage, if you don't do things unto worship unto God, and you try to do things outside of the quantum leap method and you try to do things out of your own will, out of your own capacity, I'm telling you right now, you will be not only working against yourself, you will be doing 10 times the work. I don't know how until the Lord can give me a way to define what he's shown me is this, but it's like I told you all earlier in the in this lesson, right? Let's say you go to build a business. Whatever you could have did last year at the speed that you could have did it at the cost that you could have did it at, the speed is going to be 10 to 100 times harder. The cost is going to be 10 to 100 times higher. The time is going to be 10 to 100 times longer. And you want to know the irony in this? We have technology to allow you to do it quicker. The ability to make money quicker, to do it stronger, but the dynamics have shifted. You have third-party intermediaries trying to get a piece of the pie. It's not the same, y'all. It's not the same. People are being extorted in every shape or way. Right now, oil is $65 a barrel. Have you went to the gas pump lately? Right now, I think the White House just issued out this thing because they're gouging the gas prices, y'all. Gas is $65 a barrel, and they're charging gas. They're charging gas as if I went to Buc-ee's because we was out in the country, and I think it was $3.27 a gallon at Buc-ee's. Everyone is exploiting gas prices. There was another place I seen and it was $3.79. That was closer because we was almost by Florida. Me and my dad today, as far down as we went, we was almost by Florida, and the fuel cost was that high. Fuel should not be. I don't think fuel should even be over $2. It should be around $2.50 something or $2.70. Everyone is exploiting. Another exploitation, what people are doing, corporations are doing, right? Because listen, if you go in the store and you tend to buy, I don't do a lot of processed foods, but you try to buy packaged stuff. Let me tell you something. You better go in that store with a calibrated scale. I just seen how they were selling 2 pounds of shrimp, but what's in the bag? What's in the bag while the shrimp is iced? When the lady put it in a bowl and zeroed it out, don't you know it was 1.4 pounds of shrimp in the bag? Mind you, that was iced shrimp. If you go get sugar, whatever you go get right now, they're saying, oh, in this box, you're not checking the ounces. And when you have to understand the ounces does not include the packaging material or the box or the can. I opened something the other day and I was like, this looks a little low. And so now you're going to have to be either very creative. You're going to have to source your stuff in unique forms and in unique ways because everything is being exploited. Everyone is shaving off the top. This is the same thing that a certain group of people used to do with coins. They used to shave the silver coins. And y'all know who I'm talking about, what people I'm talking about. Okay? They were notorious for shaving off the coins. Okay, so that you thought you had an ounce of silver, but really it wasn't an ounce of silver. It was 3/4 of an ounce, and they was mixing the metals. This is what's going on in the market, and so this is why everything is what's the word? Inflated. So if you're not privy to these things, come on, let's talk about that. These people are watering it down as well. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Giving you go order a drink, y'all, which I wouldn't do. But if you go somewhere and you order a drink, you better make sure you get 1 cup for ice and 1 cup for the drink. Don't put no ice in that. Don't put no ice in your cup. You shouldn't use public ice anyways. Public ice is some of the most disgusting loaded bacteria is in a lot. They don't clean the ice machines. You're supposed to clean your ice machines every day, if at least once a week. You go to the supermarket, you take a calibrated scale. Okay? So I'm gonna leave with that, y'all. I hope this bless you all. Please be stewards. We'll love to have you on the 12th. I think it's at 4 p.m. We're gonna do the basic binder. I put it up on CEOdriveher.com. I'm gonna put more details to it. Right. You know what? And I forgot that is the proper terminology. What's up, L Cool J? Shrinkflation. Shrinkflation. Okay. What's that? Ant says typical trick dealers due to out of towners allegedly. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Please. Oh, I did not ask for a like. I do that so my people. And the reason why I don't like to do that, but the reason why I'm asking for the like you all because, so many of my people say they don't get the notification. They don't get it. So I'm asking for the like so it can signal out to those that, because I don't consistently come on here. I've been trying to do better this summer since I'm off. I'm on what you call it, sabbatical. Okay. Um, but yeah, if you could do that, if we could just take a like break real quick, you all, I would greatly appreciate it. Like it, or you can hit the dislike button. Hater, no. Okay. I'm playing, y'all. All right, I love you. I'll see y'all. We'll do part 2 tomorrow because I did not finish this. Okay. You can't hype the video. Yeah. What's this hype? Y'all, I don't know what the hype thing is. I've been getting hypes. Like it'd be like, oh, you got a hype. Oh, you got a hype. And I'm like, okay, well, hype it up. I don't hype it up. Okay. You can tell I was born in the 80s with that one. All right. Love y'all. Bye.